Okay, good morning. We're up to Siman Shin Aleph Sif Lamed Zayin. What we're going to discuss today is the issue of wearing gloves on Shabbos. We'll also discuss wearing earmuffs, and we'll see if there's a difference. Says the Mechab, Mutter lotzeis b'Shabbos b'bote yodayim. You're allowed to go out on Shabbos wearing gloves. Hanikroim gutches. V'yesh mi shemachme lahatzrich sheyispereim me'erev Shabbos b'bote yodayim shel mapushov. There are those who are makbid that the gloves should somehow be attached, sewn into the sleeves of the jacket, of the coat. They're attached, tied in some sort of permanent way. So the basic opinion of the Mechaba is that you're allowed to go out with gloves on Shabbos, but there are those who are stringent that they should be attached or tied to the sleeves of the beged. Let's see the Mishnah Berurah. B'bote yodayim. V'hatam. And the reason why the first opinion allows you to wear gloves on Shabbos, shehi malbush gomer, because they are considered a regular item of clothing, she'asuyim lohem mipnei hakar, which are made for the cold weather. V'yesh mi shemachmiru, and there are those who are strict, mishum she'delefa'omim tzorich lemashmesh yodov lahosir mimenu kinno epiris ha'ikatztoi. Sometimes a person would want to take his gloves off in public because he needs to use his hands, either to shake somebody else's hand or to sort of shoo away a fly or a mosquito or something. And we're worried that a person might forget the gloves. He might forget that he's holding the gloves. And he might carry 4 amas b'Reshus Rabim. He might carry the gloves 4 amas in the Reshus Rabim. So those are the two opinions. The first opinion is that it's okay, it's an item of clothing, and therefore no problem to wear gloves on Shabbos. And there are those who are strict, because you may come to carry Daled Amas in the Reshus Rabim. Let's continue for a minute, and then we'll discuss the Halacha L'Maisa. Kuf Lamates, Mishnah Berurah, Nikrim Guntish, Zui Masha Onu Keirin Henshich. So he says in the bottom, Kfafa, we call them gloves. Ava Masha Onu Keirin Arbil, but what we call Arbil, which is min kfafa lechimum shtei kapus hayudayim. I don't think I've seen this, but it's a sort of a pouch where you put both hands in. Shatoichav by shtei yodov das hataz deshari lekul alma. The Taz says that is preferred, if you like, to the single glove. Because when you're wearing this sort of pouch over both hands, we're not worried that you might remove it from your hands. Because you may take out one hand for, to shake somebody else's hand or to sort of shoo away a fly or a mosquito, but the second hand will stay in the pouch, and therefore lo mikri masu, and therefore it hasn't got a status of a masui, of something which you're carrying. Others say no, this double-handed pouch is even more is worse. You should be stricter with it. Because it can quite easily fall off, and you might come to carry Daled Amas. Sometimes one does carry it with your hand. And therefore, in the same way that there are those who are strict with regular gloves, they will be strict with this. Okay, this is kufmem. Because in that situation, we're no longer worried that if you attach them, either you sew them into the sleeves of your coat or you tie them somehow. In that situation, we're not worried you might come to carry them. Okay, let's just have a look at footnote number 90. What is it? Sorry, 96. Excuse me. 96. Yeah, Ubia Gon Rishlam Zam Arbach. Shatam Shekosva Mishnah Berurah Sheroi Lebal Nefesh Lahachme. Kimin Shechayishesh Sheyivshet Esakfofis Kli Lemashmesh Biyod Lahasir Kina. Because we're worried you might come to take them off. Motzu Yosim Mikol Shach Hashoshes Shehuskru B'Shas. Yeah. The reason he explains that the Mishnah Berurah explains the reason why there is a stricter opinion, the Shmir Shabbos explains, is because it's quite motzui that a person does take off his gloves and comes to carry. That's more motzui than other issues of carrying. Okay, now kuf mem aleph. So the Mechaber presents two opinions. One, that it's okay to wear gloves on Shabbos, and then he presents a stricter opinion that you shouldn't because you might come to take them off. For Roy Lochish Ledvarov, says the Mishnah Berurah, here's the halacha lemaisa, kuf mem aleph, va'achshav na'alu lahakel. The minhag is nowadays we are makel and we wear gloves on Shabbos. Ve'efshem mishum de kibben shelaharbe poiskim ein lanu rishus rabbim midaraisa. And it could be that nowadays we don't really have a rishus rabbim midaraisa bizman hazeh. Therefore, it's not, we're not chayshish that we should be geyser, that we should be worried that you may come to carry daladamas and rishus rabim. Even though you don't need to protest against those who are mekel and those who do wear gloves on Shabbos, it's appropriate for a bal nefesh to be machmir. Okay, so a couple of points. So it comes out according to the conclusion of the Mishnah Berurah, based on this mechaber, that the two opinions in the Shulchan Aruch is you can wear gloves on Shabbos, and then there are those who want to be machmir. The Mishnah Berurah says that the minhag is to be mekel. However, bal nefesh should be machmir. That seems to be the appropriate course of action. And I remember hearing once from Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Shmuel used to always, wonder, really, does it happen? A person may come to carry in the Rishus Rabbim. And I remember he once told us that he his lace came undone on Shabbos, so he rested his foot on the wall of a sort of a front drive, the front of someone's house, his garden, and he just rested his foot on there to do his shoelace up, and he was wearing gloves, and he took his glove off in order to do his shoelace up, and the glove fell into the front drive of this person's house, and he was about to take it and pick it out again, and he would have taken it from the front drive into the street, which, maybe it's a karmelis and maybe an issa drabanan of carrying, but I guess he reminded himself and then he went into the drive and put it on there. But the point is that it can happen. So there are different opinions about wearing gloves. The minhag is to be mekel, and people generally do wear gloves, but a bal nefesh should be machmir. Now, what about wearing earmuffs? Here in London at the moment it's particularly cold. Can you wear earmuffs on Shabbos? So there is a footnote here in number 94. There's to go out with earmuffs on Shabbos. There's some sort of, there's like a metal connecting on the two muffs, or there's some sort of, they're fashioned in that way. He says it's mutter. Since, he quotes the Shadis and Shuvah's Beis Yisrael, since they're meant to be going over the ears, they're considered a proper item of clothing, like gloves, and therefore he says there's no problem to go out. And therefore, and also there is less of a concern that we have with gloves, that you may come to take the gloves off to shake somebody's hand or to use your hands in some way, because you're not going to take off these earmuffs. You're wearing them because you're cold, and moreover, if you're wearing, sometimes you put this earmuff and you put it under your hat, and he says you're not going to take your hat off in public to worry about that. And indeed, in Reb Simcha Bunim Kohen Sefer, he concludes that as well. He says even the poskim who prohibit wearing gloves on Shabbos permit wearing earmuffs. So just in summary, there are different opinions regarding gloves. The two opinions in the Shulchan Aruch are that the primary opinion is that it's allowed to wear gloves on Shabbos, and there are those who are stricter, and the Mishnah Berurah says the minhag is to be mekel, and a bal nefesh should be machmir. And when it comes to earmuffs, even those poskim who prohibit wearing gloves on Shabbos permit wearing earmuffs.